Welcome back to This Wasn't in the MLS. Got the name right, finally. I'm Megan,
And I'm Sean.
and I have a really funny story.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, it's not funny at all. But, so I went out showing today, and I just got home. And the lady that I'm showing, she came from a referral I got from an agent in Queens. And I've been working with her for like a month now. And she's like, I'm sitting with her because she was in my car for a little bit when we were showing houses in the hideout. And I'm sitting with her, and she's like, do you know a word? I'm like, no. Why? And she's like, he's an agent out here. I was like, okay. Oh, shit. I wasn't supposed to say his name. Okay, we can cut that. She's like, do you know this person? And I was like, no. I'm like, why? And she's like, well, he called me yesterday and he said he's from ABC Realty. And I'm not going to say, I'll tell you later, which realty company. And she's like, and he was saying how great he is and all this stuff, and found out that I'm coming out here. And she was saying like that he told her, I heard you're coming out to look at houses and I'd love to meet with you and show you some houses and everything. And she's like, oh, well, I'm working with somebody already. And he's like, oh, well, they don't know anything and I know everything and all this other stuff. And I'm like, she's like telling me this story. I'm like, do people really? Like, what a shithead.
Yeah, you should never badmouth other agents.
Well, he doesn't even know. She didn't tell him who she was working with. She just said, I'm working with somebody. And he was saying that the company he works for is the best. And if you don't have anybody from that company, then they're going to be crappy and all this other stuff.
Wow.
What a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I know who you are. I know your name. We're going to cut your name. You're welcome. But what a shithead.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like, if you're really the best, and I'm going to look up your numbers too. If you're really the best, you shouldn't have to like try and hijack other people's clients.
Yeah, definitely not.
But no, it was a good experience. We went to we saw a Victorian house and she loved it, but she's, almost 70 and she's like, I can't live in this big house and all this other stuff. It was a huge Victorian. It was probably like almost 3,000 square feet and all the bedrooms were upstairs, and she's older. So she's like, I want to buy that house, but I can't. But she did we did go and see a really nice house that she wants to put an offer on. So
Awesome.
that's my news of the day. So after we're done with this, I have to jump on the computer and do that.
So do I have to write a lease today.
That's fun. I have to say, you don't make a lot of money on rentals, right? But like, you were so good with this tenant, and he worked with like a million other agents, and he really liked you, and you ended up being able to find him a place. So I'm proud of you. That's great.
Yeah, I'm glad that I was able to finally find him a place.
I know.
Took a while, but we got there.
Yeah, that's good.
And now we can relocate.
Yes, that's great. I'm happy for you. That's how you should treat every person that comes through, no matter how much money you make on the sale or whatever it is. So our topic today is pricing, right? That's what we said.
Yeah.
Overpricing, why it's a bad idea, stuff like that. So, do you want me to start?
Yeah, we could just jump right in it.
All right. So I guess right now I would say that the market is, I think during COVID it wasn't as bad to overprice your house because I feel like there were so many buyers that like people kind of got lucky with.
Yeah, and people were overpaying for houses too during COVID.
Right. So people got lucky, or sellers got lucky rather, and sometimes they would get the crazy amount that they wanted for their house, but now it's, even if you overprice by like peanuts, I've noticed that it's like they'll get nothing.
Yeah, they're not gonna get any showings or very little at least.
Yeah. Well, even if, like, I had a house last year that overpriced by $20,000 over what I recommended, and they had like a ton of showings. They had like probably over the course of a year. I mean, I'd have to look at the exact thing on showing time, but over the course of a year, they had, I want to say, like 50 to 60 showings, which is a lot of showings, right?
Yeah.
But zero offers. So a lot of times after that happens, buyers think, oh, like there's something wrong with the house, because like how could they not have any offers, or how could they be on the market that long? There must be something wrong with it. So I constantly had agents calling me like, hey, is there something wrong with it? Whatever the case may be. Don't press your mute button again like you did last podcast. And it's like, no, like we just haven't gotten any offers. And that's what happens when you overprice your listing. It's very telling. And, obviously right away I'm going to educate my client on that. Like, hey, you've had all these showings. And, there were a couple conversations where it was like, you had a bunch of showings, like maybe we should adjust the price and come down to where I originally recommended. And, he inched down, he creeped down, and he did take my advice in a sense, but just didn't want to come down to that number I was telling him to come down to. And eventually, my contracts are usually 6 months. So he expired once, and then we relisted, and he was about to expire again. And I was like, listen, like, you got to come down to the price that I originally recommended. Like, I'm like, I promise, we're going to sell it if you come down there.
Yeah.
He sold in 4 days.
Yeah. Once he finally came down, he sold really fast.
4 days.
Yeah.
But you know what happens, and I don't like to talk about my clients too much because I don't want to embarrass anybody or anything like that, which is why I'm not using any names or what house it was example. But what ends up happening is, yes, you didn't sell quickly, which is one thing. Like, that's, you didn't sell quickly. Not a big deal for a lot of people. Not everybody's in a rush, and that's fine. But the problem becomes is you want this, $20,000 over what the market value was. Like, he wanted $20,000 more than that, or he wanted to like negotiate, whatever his motive was. The problem with that is that if he listed on the if he listed at the price that we recommended, he would have gotten a lot closer to the asking price and could have been close to that number. But instead, he wanted to try the market and see what happened, and he ended up getting almost $20,000 below the original market value list price that I gave him.
Yeah, that's why it's always good to start out at what kind of like we recommend.
Yeah. How crazy is that though? And I feel bad. Like, it sucks, everybody wants more. And we even want more when we list our houses. It's like,
everybody always wants more.
Yeah. But it's just so crazy that, I'm always open to try. Like, I'm open to trying. Like, I'll tell my clients, like, here's where you should list at. But, like, if you want to try it, then, that's your prerogative. But I always warn them because I've been through, this isn't the only deal that I've done that this has happened with. I've been through it so many times that I'm like, this is most likely what's going to happen. But it's difficult sometimes when.
Yeah. I mean, at least the most that we could kind of do is educate and
Yeah.
Like,
At the end of the day, it's the seller's
yeah, it's the
decision.
seller's decision.
Yeah. But that's my 2 cents about overpricing your listing.
Yeah. So there's pricing, and then also another good thing is professional pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely want to get that because it'll make it look a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. So every listing that we do the full package. So we have the video, which is an agent video, which we that's for social media and everything else. And then we have the professional pictures for the MLS and also social media, because we do a lot of social media advertising. Virtual tours. What is the other one called? Floor plans, which gives you square footage of each room. Yeah, all the bells and whistles. We do the drone shots, everything. And it makes such a huge difference. I mean, the first thing a buyer sees is what when they're looking at a house?
Pictures.
The pictures. So if you have crappy pictures, they're not going to go see it. They're going to be like, well, that looks like a crappy house, because they're crappy pictures. And you can have the most gorgeous house, but if you have dark, like almost, they look dated, the pictures.
Yeah.
So that's super important to my listings, at least. Like, I won't do my own pictures. And we'll do that. And then we also we have a checklist, seller checklist. So going back to, like, everybody has a bunch of stuff and clutter and they live in their houses, and that's fine. But we want a open, non-lived in look, basically.
You want to get rid of a lot of the personal stuff and kind of tuck them away, especially for pictures, make everything look as bright and open as possible.
Yeah. I wish, every single time I do my checklist, and my checklist is so good, or our checklist now, sorry, is so good that you wouldn't believe. I can't believe the transitions of these places. So I go in and I do my listing appointment, right? And then and I'm like, okay, we'll be here in 2 weeks, a week, or whatever. You have this amount of time to get all this done. And the photographer's coming on this date. So we give them a timeline and, like, you have enough time to do this. The houses, I just can't believe how different they look. And I can't tell you, I always wish I take before and after pictures, but I feel like that's kind of rude.
Yeah. I don't think people want that.
But it's like, look at this before and after. But it's so crazy. Like those couple houses that I sold in Pocono Springs over the summer, or was it? No, it was at the end of 2025, right? Yeah, so. It was only a few months ago. I gave them my checklist and I kind of went around the house with them, and I was like, these are the couple things that you should do. And these houses were, both of the owners were aged to perfection, and of both the houses. So they were dated house. I mean, realistically, they were dated houses, and they had a lot of stuff. The one house, they built it, right? And they've been living there. They're the original owners. So I sold it as the original. They were the original owners of the house. And, when you go through houses like that, you're like, you gotta do something, Yeah,
you definitely accumulate a lot of stuff over the years.
Yeah. So they did. I just couldn't believe when I walked in with the photographer, and I was like, wow, you guys did it. You did great. And when I first started using my checklist, I was like, okay, like, I hope this is good. I hope this is a good base or a good way to start. And the first house I walked into, I was like, It must be a good checklist.
It's working.
It's working. It's a working checklist. No, it was good. So I just kept it. I've added stuff as I went and things like that. But, you know, a lot of times you walk into places and like there's peeling paint or there's chips in the walls or, you know, the carpet is pulling and like old carpet, how it,
Yeah.
the one
Just
house
from
we
like the
went to.
furniture
Yeah.
being on it, it kind of gets.
Like pulls out of
Yeah.
but and you know you give them these small tips because it makes such a huge difference because if a buyer can walk into a house it helps justify the price if they don't have to put any of their own money into it.
Yeah.
So just, and honestly, it could be the smallest things like paint or just something that looks, you know, if you have a cat and like you let the cat claw at the wall a little bit or claw at the, what is that? I always say, what is that called
The
again? The
baseboard.
baseboard. I call them floorboards and Sean doesn't like that. But claw at the baseboard or like, you know, kids kick it or, you know, kids touch the walls. I'm constantly cleaning our walls.
Yeah.
But just little things like that to make it like clean and bright looking and not so many buyers just walk into houses and they're like, oh, this is a fixer upper. But like really it's like a freaking baseboard
Yeah.
has some scuff marks on it. Like you just want not perfection, but because we all live in our houses, but you know what I mean, just
Just clean it up.
yeah, clean it up. If you have to replace a couple pieces of the floorboard, what is that? How much you would know how much that costs? It doesn't seem that expensive.
No, it's not crazy expensive. It's a couple dollars a board.
Yeah. So just to if if I said to somebody, hey, you know, that could save you $1,000, wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
Because it could. And I'm not being dramatic. I mean, something that's stupid, but if you had like 20 of those in the house, right?
Yeah.
And you replaced all 20 and that was what? How much babe?
A couple $100.
Couple $100 and you spending that couple $100 gave you another $800 in your pocket when you'd be like, okay, you know, I made out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm crazy about this stuff though. Like I'm really, really, I have to be honest, I'm super strict about my listings and how they present on the MLS. So I'm not afraid to go into your house and kind of pick it apart and be like, you gotta do something here.
Yeah. Well, what? Last year you had none of your listings expire.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them sold.
Yep.
So sometimes it's good to nitpick some of this stuff and helps the buyers come in and
Yeah.
be able to visualize that they want it.
Yeah. And I do say it in the nicest way
Yeah.
possible. It's not like I go in and I'm like, you know what? You need to clean your shit up. All right. This is too much.
Some people probably need to hear that, but
Yeah. Well, not recently.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, very picky about that stuff. I think that, you know, you'll thank me at the end of the day for nitpicking the crap out of your house because at the end of the day, you're going to sell it for more. It's going to look better on the MLS.
Yeah, you want to do whatever you can to get the most out of it.
Yeah. Like even a recent house that we went to together, it was like he was asking me, what should he do? And I'm like, you got to take out these carpets. I mean, you're asking this amount of money. Our dog is trying to escape, asking this amount of money. And buyers are going to come in and expect it to be perfect. So if you want this amount, then you got to make it that way, right?
Yeah.
You got to fix everything that is possibly wrong with the house, or that you know about at least.
Yeah. I went to one the other day that there was almost inch gaps in the floors, and that ruined it for the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just because he just saw dollar signs.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that you want to be able to have fixed, and because it will cost a buyer some money, and they'll
They're
look
gonna
at
want
it.
less for the house. They're gonna want to buy it for less.
Yeah.
So it's just very, very important. There goes our vacuum. What else do we do? You said presentation. Is that where we were going with this?
Yeah.
Oh, price, presentation.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of covered the social media aspect that we advertise every property on social media. We try to
Multiple
make,
times.
yeah, try to make unique videos to make them stand out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a science behind the videos. It's always a work in progress, but there is a science. We're going to get Sean in some videos.
Yeah, sometime soon.
You would normally be like, nah, I don't think so. We're going to do that.
We'll try.
Yeah, social media is huge for me at least. Sean is working his way up into the world with social media, but I do, I do a lot of referrals. I have a lot of referral partners from all over the world. I go traveling, and you come traveling with me sometimes too. But
Yeah.
in a couple weeks, I'm going to Vegas to meet with a whole bunch of Remax agents, so that I have the tools, or the agents who are my tools. I have agents to give that I trust and I've already interviewed and done all that and made relationships with, so that I can give them to other people that I know that are moving into their areas.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of the social media aspect too, is they're from all over the place. So when it comes to marketing properties and things like that, like I have agents everywhere seeing my listings, and maybe they potentially have a buyer or somebody who wants to buy my listing.
Yeah, that's even like people can reach out to us and ask us for recommendations for if they're looking to move out of state. Like we have people all over the place in North Carolina, Florida. It's
Everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
Remax is worldwide. So the people that we meet at these conferences has been actually life changing. It's really good to have connections like them, and it's really good to have those relationships and more knowledge. I mean, they
Yeah,
just
it's also good just having somebody that you know that you could trust with your referral.
yeah, exactly. And I've had awesome outcomes with using my referral partners for that. And the clients always say like, oh, it was great, working with them. And I've never had a bad review with anybody that I've sent to referral partners, which is awesome. A great track record. But if you're thinking about selling, even if it's not right now, the biggest takeaway is this: strategy matters more than timing. Every home can sell, but not every home sells well without the right plan behind it. If you want the real strategy, not a cookie cutter approach, you can grab our home value or connect with us through the link in the description. And if this episode helped you, send it to someone who's been talking about selling. We'll see you in the next one on This Wasn't in the MLS.